Hello, Melissa. I am so excited to be here with you today for another episode of How She Does It. And I just love your heart, your spirit, just everything about your energy. And I could not be more excited to have you here today to chat with us. So please, before we dive right in, tell us your name, your location, a little bit about you, and should you want to share your age, you can throw that in there too.
I love it. Hi, guys. Okay, my name is Melissa Chay. I am 37 and I am from Southern California. I'm a mom with 4 little kids. They're all 8 and under. I have Irish triplets. So if you know what that means they're all less than a year apart. So my first 2 are 10 months apart and my second 2 are 4 months apart because one of them's adopted. So people are always like, how does that math work?
How'd you do that?
Yeah, what's that magic trick? And then my baby is 3. So I'm just so happy to be here.
So let's dive into the first question then. How did you get started with Monat?
Okay, I first got started with Monat through my hairdresser at the time. So just coincidentally enough, my hairdresser was the one and only Christina Smallwood. She had done my wedding hair actually, and she had just continued to be my hairdresser after that and would just cut my hair. And one day after seeing her post about some products on Facebook, I think it was back then, she put some oil in my hair at the end of my haircut. And I was like, what is this stuff? And so we got to talking about it. And she, really made me realize that I could maybe possibly do this, not just for fun, but as a business. And so that kind of is where the whole like little light bulb first went off for me. And I fell in love with the products and then really thought maybe there's something more I could do with this.
Wow. I mean, talk about serendipity, right? Having Christina Smallwood as your hairstylist and then using Monat products on your hair. So wild.
Yes. I mean, that is not the universe sending you a clear message. Like, I don't know what is. That is.
Seriously, that's amazing. And I love hearing that's how you heard about Monat. Tell us a little bit more about how you started and where you are now.
Okay, so when I started, I was a pretty new mom. I had 2 little kids, and I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do for my career. So I had gone to school. I have a master's degree in psychology, and that's kind of where I had always pictured myself long-term, with working in some kind of clinical professional setting. And after getting my master's degree, getting married, moving back down to Southern California and starting to have kids, or wanting to have kids. I didn't even have kids yet. I remember talking with my husband and thinking and telling him, like, how are we going to take on another $100,000 of student loans? And then have kids and take out a mortgage. And, I just felt like we were digging ourselves into this financial hole. And I didn't think that was the best path. And so we agreed to just take a minute and to think about it. I always thought, I'd get my doctorate and I'd have my own private practice and for psychology. And that's just like was my focus for so long. And to have to pivot and to have to think like, maybe that wasn't it was terrifying and so scary. But I knew that it wasn't the right choice for us. And so all the while I had been working, getting my bachelor's degree, my master's degree in Northern California, and then also after I moved home to Southern California, in that time frame, to support myself, I was going to school. I was working in cosmetics. So I had found myself working first part-time and then full-time, and then managing business counters for luxury retail stores in cosmetics. So managing big brands like Chanel, Shiseido, Estee Lauder, and helping the clientele, and then also working the retail, the corporate side, and talking with our buyers and bringing in products and hosting events and really running the business side of it. And it was so fun and so exciting. And so when I decided that to take a minute off of psychology, didn't know where that path was going to go yet. I just kind of dove into cosmetics, and it was so much fun. It was exciting. It was glamorous. But as I did start to have kids, it was also nights and weekends. So that's when all the big events are. That's when the holiday parties are, when the fashion shows, when you're having the facials in the spa room for the customers, because that's when they can come in. You're working for the 9 to 5 person. So you yourself are working more nights and evenings. And so as my kids got a little older and I was missing, important things, first steps and first words and, just little things as a mom that you find so important. It wasn't the same to just get a picture from the babysitter. I wanted to be there. And so, we talked about it, and I stepped away from cosmetics, working in the retail space. And so I was just kind of a stay-at-home mom, and I was just a little lost. Like, now what? I was so grateful to be home with my babies. That's what I wanted more than anything. But at the same time, we needed to fill the financial gap now of me not working. And I was just so lonely. I felt like that had been my social circle, had been my adult conversation time. It had been my lunch buddies. It had been my life for so long. And so now to be with 2 kids at home all day, every day, I was just like, what now? Like, I need something for me. I need something where I can talk to people, where I can also ideally bring home some money too, and help out financially. And so one day at that hair appointment, when Christina put that magic oil in my hair and she set off that little light bulb of, you've done cosmetics, maybe you could do this. I just thought, oh my gosh, like, she's right. Like, maybe I can do this. And that's how it all began. And now I have just earned my Cadillac. I have just hit the MM rank in our compensation plan, which is so amazing. It's just smack in the middle of our compensation plan with Monat. But because of the amazing compensation plan that Monat has, I've been able to go on so many trips, Punta Cana, Cancun, Miami, Las Vegas, so many times. And, just talking about my finances before, that would have never been possible. I would have never felt comfortable taking money out of our family savings account or checking account to go take a tropical vacation when we get so many other things to pay for. And so this company now has been able to just bless us in so many ways.
Oh my gosh, so powerful. And even just being a mom myself, not wanting to miss those moments is so important. And also being able to have something that's yours as a mama is also equally important. So I love that Monat has brought you to where you are now.
I know. It's just such an amazing full circle, like to look back at where I started and what I was craving, which was community and a way to just financially contribute, even if it was just paying for my Starbucks, just bringing home something.
We all feel that.
Right. Just so it doesn't feel like you're just, taking. And as a mom, we contribute in so many ways. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I adore her. I love her. And I'm so grateful for the stay-at-home moms. But I also was just lonely. And I think for me, the biggest gift has been the community that it's just filled my life with. And so I'm so grateful for that.
And I couldn't agree more with you. It is our community that is incomparable, at least how we see it, right? So
yes, totally.
All the yes to our community. It's the best, truly. Now tell us a little bit, like, what does your typical day look like? And when do you fit in Monat, being a busy mama of 4?
Okay, my typical day is pretty crazy. I think all the moms out there can relate, right? It's like a circus from the time our eyes open. But that is truly the beauty of this business. I fit it in while I am waiting for the school bus, taking my boys to school and then waiting to pick them up at the school bus line. While my daughter does her dance classes, I'm able to just go to my car and listen to a recorded training. And I'm still there and I'm present with her, but I'm also able to fit in a little bit of work, whether it's on my earbuds or whatever. And then, when my toddler goes down for her nap, after bedtime, just kind of like really in the nooks and crannies of my day. And, of course, if I have a scheduled like team meeting or some kind of event I make arrangements for the kids and then I'm able to be there for those. But for the average mom and for myself, for the first many years of my business, it was just mostly while I was driving.
Yeah.
Or while I was cleaning, I would literally put on a recording while I was washing dishes, while I was mopping the floor at night. I would just have that in the background so I could be, as moms always do, multitasking, to the max. And so that's how I really fit it in. It didn't take away from anything I was already doing. I just kind of fit it on top of wherever I could.
I love hearing that money can fit literally in the nooks and crannies of your day. And you're proof of that with the 4 littles at home. So I love that. Thinking about the next thing and talking about what we love about this business and opportunity, what do you love most about your role at Monat?
I would have to say now, being in the leadership role that I'm in, being able to give this gift to other women. So now I'm finding other women out there who were right where I was when I started. They have little kids at home. They're either about to leave a career that they aren't happy with, or that isn't just fitting for their family anymore, the logistics of the day in, day out for them. And they're just kind of not sure where to look. They want just exactly what I've been able to have, which is just more time with my family.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Giving the gift of what you have to other people and giving them the opportunity. So that is so powerful. Now, in this business, I think it's one of the things that and in life, actually, we try to avoid talking about, right, with failures. What's your biggest failure and what did you learn from that experience?
I would say my biggest failure in business was not believing in myself when I first got started. I was so scared and nervous of what people would think. I had this whole career in cosmetics before. I had worked for these prestigious brands. And now I had partnered with this seemingly new company at the time. And I was just like, people are just going to think like, what a sellout. Listening to those voices and listening to those fears in my own head, because who knows if they even really existed, right? But I believed they did. And so I let that hold me back for the first, I would say year or so of my business. I was so like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I wanted to post, but not too much. I wanted to share, but I didn't want to offend anybody. And I wanted to let people know I did Monat, but I didn't want to be that girl. And so it was just this very like back and forth. And so how confusing for people watching, how confusing for somebody considering joining me. Like, of course it doesn't work. It's like having a clothing store and then some days the lights are open and the doors open for business, but some days they're closed and some days it's full of customers, but some days it's not. It's like, you're going to stop going
such
there.
A great analogy.
Right? You're like, what's up with this
What's
place?
happening here?
Yeah, I'll go somewhere else where I know that they always are open. And so I let that failure be an example to my team. And I'm like, don't do what I did. Don't hold yourself back. Who cares? Who cares? Let people whisper and talk about how you're the shampoo girl, because maybe somebody will overhear that conversation and be like, well, I'm looking for some shampoo. Who's this shampoo girl you guys are talking about? And so I think, that for sure has been my biggest failure, in that I got in my own way. I think of, I could have been so much further along now. I could have had so many more opportunities. but that was just, that was my lesson that I needed to learn so that I could be that example for my team and for other people out there that, as soon as I decided that I wanted to be that shampoo girl, that I was excited to just go all in on this, that is the moment my entire business took off. That's the moment that it was able to earn new leadership experience, which then propelled my business to where I am today. And so it was just that mental decision. It was a mindset change of just deciding for myself that like I was going to go all in. And as soon as I decided that and I started showing up that way, my business really became a business and not a hobby.
And thinking about that piece of advice, I feel like you gave us a little nugget of that. What is one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out as a Monat market partner?
Ooh, okay. I would say be as strategic as you can when you first start. And what I mean by that is really utilize our Smart Start program. Monat offers something incredible in the first couple of months of joining this business. And it's an opportunity to just make additional bonuses. So you're going to go into your business with so much momentum, and just don't let that pass you by, because I've seen the difference between people who really utilize that Smart Start and how that fire propels their business for months and months and years after, versus people who like I did, right? Like tiptoe in and sort of, kind of, almost, but don't. And it lingers, that energy and that kind of like, one foot in, one foot out. It'll linger, and that will just drag your business down the longer you let it go on. So come in, big and strong and go hard, and it will benefit you more than you can ever imagine.
Oh my gosh. And I love that. You mentioned just utilizing the incredible incentives we have when you get started, because really we want you to win here and we want you to find success as soon as possible. So I love that piece of advice. I'm going to switch this question up a little bit, because I know you mentioned you are at home with the 4 littles and you do Monat, but give us some insight as to a little bit more about kind of your general lifestyle. I know we had a conversation before diving into the interview about fostering and adopting, and I think that's so powerful if that's something that you'd be open sharing.
Yes, absolutely. So, life is so funny, and the timing of things sometimes just seems like so ironic. So I had joined Monat, like I mentioned, and I was so excited, and I was scared and nervous. And like I mentioned, kind of one foot in, one foot out, but I was so excited, wanting to learn all the things. And all of a sudden, this one day, life just threw me the most giant curveball, in that my phone rang, and on the other end, it was CPS, so Child Protective Services. And they had told me I have a family member in custody, and I was the next of kin. So I was basically the only person also who was able to care for this, for the child. And if I declined, that they would be going into like open foster care. So I absolutely said yes. I without even hesitating or thinking or asking my husband, I just said yes, absolutely, bring him over. And so within hours, we kind of got thrown into the foster care system and all that entails. And it was such a whirlwind, because for most people, when they enter foster care, foster adoption, they go into it with a little bit of knowledge. They do some homework. They talk to people who have been through it. For us, it was literally just, in the blink of an eye, all of a sudden, here we are. So had I started any other job, I would have had to quit. I would have had to put in my 2 weeks and say, this is my life right now. I have court dates and visitation and therapy and all these other things. And I'm not going to be able to work and be away 9 to 5. I mean, that's just not going to be possible. But I had joined Monat. And so the beauty of the business, of the time flexibility, was just like illuminated to me in that moment when I was realizing that I had now signed up for, every single day, hours and hours of, I'd be fingerprinted and background checks, and somebody comes and checks your home every month, and just so many other things. And I was just like, I have something now where it's okay. I'm not nervous. I don't have to go ask somebody to use my PTO. I don't have to go to HR and see what accommodations can be made for me. I can just do this. Like I'm going to figure this out. And so, I never left Monat. I never quit. I just kind of took my foot off the gas. I was having to juggle, like I mentioned, so many other things, so many other legal battles. And so I had to just kind of coast a little bit. I wasn't able to go full throttle like I had wanted to and hoped to. And that was okay. And as I kind of worked through the foster care, it was 2.5 years all in all of foster care, of just basically court dates and fighting and therapy and so many talks with social workers. But eventually we did adopt. So in October of 2020, our journey had a nice, beautiful, perfect ending, and we were able to adopt him. So he is my number 3, and he is the 4-month apart one. So he's one of people are always like, how does that story? I'm like, that's the story with that one. He's adopted. And so that's how those two are so close together in age. But it will just never cease to amaze me that this business was brought into my life. And then seemingly right after, my whole life is turned upside down because of this foster care situation and taking on another child. And, if I had another job too, I would have been paying for another kid in daycare, the financial burden of having kids in diapers in daycare, while you're working 40 hours out of the house. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense for us. So just the beauty of this business, that I was able to continue doing this all the while. And that I was able to have not only the financial support, but the community support of the amazing women who also stood by my side, who encouraged me, who commented, who checked in on me after court. And I also was able to start a nonprofit. So I run a nonprofit called Moonlight Foster Closet. We're here in San Bernardino County, and we are a resource to other foster parents, resource families here in this county. They're able to come pick up clothing free of charge for their foster children. And I'm able to now be a resource here in my community. I don't think it's a coincidence at all that this opportunity, this business, became a part of my life when it did, because it all has intertwined in the most beautiful and magical way. And I just can't imagine. I can't imagine if it hadn't come along. I can't imagine if I wouldn't have said yes. And so, I mean, if you're out there listening tentatively, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just how I was, I just want you to believe in yourself and to know that you can do this, to take that step. It's there for the taking. You just have to say yes.
Oh my gosh, chills, just your heart and your just love for people and service is so inspiring, Melissa. I love that. Tell us a little bit more about what is next for you at Monat, or what is your next Monat goal, even though you're already doing big things with your business and your nonprofit.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Well, I would love to be a gratitude ambassador. That's something that I've had my eye on for a long time. And so that is, if you're not familiar and you're listening, Monat has an amazing gratitude program where we are able to give back to so many different organizations from around the world globally. So when we travel to different countries, Monat always makes a point to give back to the local community wherever we are, whenever there's natural disasters. I mean, there's just numerous ways that Monat gives back. And so that's such a huge piece of my heart. And so I'd love to be able to get involved with that with Monat next. for my business, I'm planning to hit SDD. I'm going to go all the way. I cannot wait to be on that director stage and those director meetings and to be there with you guys, because that is definitely what I have my eye on next. And just bringing my team with me. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started.
Love that. Love that. And it still centers around your heart, your service. And I can't wait to see you continue to climb to success. But I hope you also relish in where you are right now and celebrate how far you've come from. So I appreciate you sharing your story with us. We're going to dive into some rapid fire questions.
Ooh.
We're going to do this quick and fast because we want to hear the true answers here. Okay. You can have 3 products to bring to a deserted island. What 3 products would you choose?
Ooh, okay, such a good question. Okay, you know what? I am obsessed with our Hydrate and Refresh Mist. You guys, I have mist everywhere. And if I was on a deserted island, I would need my Hydrate Mist. I'd be misting and glowing all over that island. Our body products are honestly amazing. So probably our amazing body scrub and our body lotion. And I would just be, you know, a bronze goddess out there living my best island life.
I love it. Bronze goddess with a mist and a scrub, and the softest one at that. So don't forget your sun veil.
Yes.
Okay. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Okay. I feel like I'm a little bit of both. I think I'm pretty extroverted, but I do have that like introvert need to recharge alone, you know, to have like a good girls' night in and just like binge some like Netflix on the couch. Just if I'm out socializing a lot, I feel like I do need to recharge kind of a little bit. So I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of both.
You could say both. Early riser or night owl?
Oh, night owl for sure. I wish I was an early bird. I've tried. I thought like with age it would get easier. No, you guys,
Or with kids.
Yeah, or with kids, right? No, it doesn't change. I wish I could be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 5 a.m., you guys, but I am not. I'm such a night owl. I can, you know, hang out until the wee hours of the morning, and that's okay with me. So
I love that. I'm a night owl too, so I'm there with you.
Yes.
Okay, last one, bucket list vacation.
Ooh, bucket list vacation. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Oh, you know what? I have always wanted to go to Bali. Like I have been to some pretty amazing places because I have an international family. So I spent a lot of summers in Puerto Rico, spent a lot of summers in Japan. So I know I'm very lucky and I've gotten to travel now even more with Monat. But I have all the pictures that come out of Bali. I am just mind blown at the beauty. So I'm like, that's for sure on the bucket list.
Love it. Love it. Well, I'll meet you in Bali one day.
Yes. Yes. Drink something.
I love it. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your time, for sharing your heart, for sharing your little nuggets of wisdom. We are so thrilled to have you on our podcast today. And we can't wait to see where you continue to go on your Monat journey. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun. Thank you.